This week's Four Questions Journalist Spotlight is brought to you by Leff's Atlanta Media, Atlanta's best journalist database. Subscribe at leffsatlantamedia.com.
Welcome to another edition of our Four Questions Journalist Spotlight. We are talking again today with Dr. Ryan Sauers. I didn't say doctor last time we talked a couple of years ago, but now we're officially doctor. So welcome.
Thank you, Mitch. And yeah, I'll tell you, man, after 2022 was like being locked in the bottom of a jail cell for the whole year. And when people call you doctor, once you come out, it feels nice. It doesn't get old. So thank you.
All right. So you and I have worked together a bit in different capacities, but you are the publisher of Our Town Gwinnett magazine, but you've also got a couple of other media things that you run, and then you were telling me you've got some new things. So let's run through kind of the things you've been doing, the magazines and shows and whatnot, and then we'll talk about the new stuff.
Yeah. So I'm the publisher of two different Our Town Gwinnett magazines, just sister editions covering different geographies, and they span a good portion of Gwinnett. One of them goes into the capital, a little bit towards Tucker, coming in that way. The other one goes out a little bit towards Walton, but mainly Gwinnett. And certainly we mail to, every time I think and say the statement with postage going up every day and paper going up, but to 20,000 plus for each of the magazine homes. And then we distribute to the Chick-fil-A's and coffee shops and whatever, any place where people are going to gather and pick them up. So we've been doing that for 15 years, and obviously have expanded out in many ways from doing that.
All right, and then you had is there a podcast that goes with the magazine?
Yeah, so basically, so you got Our Town Gwinnett all housed under like End Results Media, and so obviously the first, when I teach graduate students, you're talking about a doctorate in marketing or leadership, the first thing they ask is, well, marketing is TikTok going viral. And I'm like, no, that is not marketing, that's luck. and I explained to them, Mitch, that you and I so clearly understand, you've got traditional and digital and social and all the intersections to fit your target market, right? But it has to be explained. So people ask, I'm like, we got just a huge social following through all the channels, which, like X recently from Twitter, it all changes. Heavily read digital editions of the magazine, which, we took advantage of the QR codes that if you didn't know what a QR code was, I think during the pandemic you learned, right? So, but yeah, from there we've expanded out to we have our own podcast. It's under the End Results Radio Network, where we have about 12 show hosts who choose to host their own show in studio. We have a producer on site. So for those people out there going, I'd like to have a client on my show, or we make it very cost efficient. You get it set up. When you come in, the mics are there, everything's there where you can meet your client. And people have found great success in this because they're like, we've been trying to get this person together for coffee. But finally, we said we could bring them on our show. They're like, absolutely. So we get them set up, and then it's kind of like Netflix. It's kind of all the show hosts, even if you haven't done the show in 6 to 8 months, it's almost like you might also like this. So my show, Marketing Matters, with Ryan Sauers is on there. I'm at show 77 or 80 or something like that. But we have a lot of other really good shows, and that's kind of branched out from the magazines, if you will.
So is the idea that you have the studio, and then someone can come in and rent studio space and do a series of shows, or just one off, or either way?
Yeah, so what we don't charge them for the thing. We come in and just say somebody's paying us $350, $400 a month. I mean, and they may choose to do 2 shows back to back, which most people do. So
that makes sense. So instead of having
we block them out. They do 2 30-minute shows to save time. Invite their guests. We got 4 mics. Everything's done for them, and then magically, not only is it get all the photos and all the stuff like your backdrop there, you probably see them, all our pictures. But then they magically make their client or vendor, whoever, shine. And then it's in the whole world of, like this, in the whole world of podcasts. And sure, like you and I have done the ones through Zoom, but when they want to get the face-to-face, that's where I've seen the value. And we don't just say, hey, here's a studio, pay me to come rent it out. We just make it easy. I'm always there because I always want to welcome every guest. So whether it's my show or any show, so they feel comfortable. So it's been fun. We've been doing that. I don't know. It's like 2.5 years now.
And that's an audio video format or both?
It's audio. A lot of times it's not my show or my producer will take videos, but obviously, those files get so large so quick. So a lot of times we'll just take snippets, and share them. But I did that in the early days. I was trying to film a whole show video, and that file was quite large. So
yeah, trust me, that's why I keep these things at 20 minutes.
You have to, yeah. You really need the files are mammoth. So yeah, mainly audio, the video clips, and then the pictures.
Yeah. Okay. So, and how get into the weeds a little bit, but I think this is kind of interesting because folks ask me about podcasting often. Is what do you find is the sweet spot length for a podcast? What's too short? What's too long?
Well, I think Mitch, and I bet that you got to have the right guest. Because if you get somebody that says yes, no, but yeah, if you get somebody who's talking, I think anything shorter than 15 minutes or so, you don't get enough meat. I think anything much longer than 30 minutes starts to drag. So I'd say we generally, for those shows, we're within about 25 to 33 minutes. Now, I tap the people that keep talking, and I'm kind of like, abort mission. We've got to close it out. But for the most part, I think and your show being 20 minutes is spot on, but gets you enough information, keeps your listener interest. But, there's some shows you got a nice piece of meat going, and you don't want to just, let it go, but you do have to cut it at some point.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started a new podcast with kind of talking to local PR agencies, and the first one I did was with Karen West, with Karen West PR, and we had a really good conversation that went about 40 minutes. And we talked about it after. I said, I think that's too long, so I split it into two. So we've got one like 20-minute version section that's already run, and I'm going to run the second half in a couple of weeks. So we'll see how that works. It requires me to do a little more of that editing of, hey,
yes.
We didn't just stop abruptly. There is a second half of this coming in a week or two or a month, something like that. But we'll see. I felt like it was a really good conversation with Karen, and I didn't want to lose all that, but I didn't want to have us talking for 40 minutes. So we'll split it. We'll split it. We'll see what happens.
It's like when you came in as a guest on my TV show. I was talking to the producer the other day, and those were only 15 minutes because they had hard commercials, and I said, I remember us doing, I was interviewing you, and it's hard to go as deep as I want to go. So there's that fine balance. You need more than 15 minutes and probably, or split it into two-part series.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there's, I sometimes feel like I have a lot to talk about too, right? Yeah. You want to talk, but like always kind of be thinking of the audience, and do they, especially if you're listening to an audio format, and you've got, if you've got 2 or 3 or 4 voices, sometimes it gets hard to kind of differentiate. And I always tell folks, I said, if you can add some other sound into that other than just the people talking, that makes it more interesting, whether it's, audio from a newscast or, we have a construction client. We do radio, we'll add in construction noise, right? Hammering and sawing and that kind of stuff, just to, because that kind of jolts people's attention a little bit. Because I find myself listening to some podcasts that are like an hour long, and at some point I realized I haven't been listening for the last 15 minutes. Yeah,
it's hard. I mean, it's one thing I learned in 2022 when I was locked away with doing the dissertation. I mean, to keep your concentration for super long periods of time on whatever it is.
Yeah,
you could find yourself staring at something, and 20 minutes later go, I don't have no idea what I read or heard, right? And so it's a challenge at times.
All right. Speaking of keeping ourselves on target here, so you've got some new stuff you're working on. So what's the new stuff that we should talk about that people would be that is interesting?
Well, we've got. I wanted to be able to mention. I wanted to get it out through the media. People have been asking, kind of, how do you become a show host? Kind of as I mentioned before, and they don't understand. They feel they have to be a professional TV broadcaster or something to do this, and that's not it at all. So I want to explain that. We're working on a big awards competition. I can't go into all the specifics, but it'll be Gwinnett focused. And, you're familiar with all the awards kind of things, but we've tapped into, I'm kind of working with some people on, and I launched the whole premise I don't know, it might have been right during the pandemic, but, we're going to unroll that probably in 2024, which is going to be really cool. So, and everybody it's already kind of designed in there, but you're going to put that out. And then, I guess.
So you've teased me now. So 2024 sometime, new Gwinnett Awards program, kind of a best of awards kind of thing.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna make you spill it now because I can tell you're not ready yet.
Well, you've got the idea. You've got the idea,
right.
And we're just waiting to see. It's like everything else. You're a PR master. It's like when's the right time to bring this out? And if you're going to bring it out, you got to have it completely execute. Be able to execute on all parts. So I'm not quite there because I've got some other things I got to clear up on my plate, but it's pretty exciting. Really excited. Right. And then the TV where you came on as a guest, we're in conversation right now. We took a little hiatus of doing some more together and doing it even differently, which can look completely different. So there might be people out there, like you came on, did a great job that we'll be reaching out to. It might be more of a set. We don't know yet, with a co-host and two guests. I don't know how it's going to look. We're looking at a lot of possibilities, longer shows possibly, no more than 30 minutes. So pretty excited about that. We're brainstorming how to, bring in new viewers. So those are a couple of things.
What's your timing on that new show? So is that also kind of looking at next year sometime?
Yeah. We actually met. It feels like early this week, I believe, and we will talk again next week. And yesterday, as an email, he's got 2 ideas. I kind of threw out a lot of ideas, and my guy's now kind of in charge of everything, and he's looking to make it fresh, to redo everything they do for is a faith-based programming, but how they reach the community, which ties back to what you asked me in the beginning. So I threw out a bunch of ideas, and our minds were whirling, and he's kind of noodled it down to 2 things, and it's to be determined, but it should be. We'll talk about it and try to refine next week.
Okay. Anything new with the magazines?
Yeah, I think the best thing is we've really enhanced the digital editions. Everything from QR codes to now we can embed videos and side ads to whatever. The fact that, I think more people see it when we post it through Facebook and Instagram and our digital edition if they miss the print one. So it is, we really expanded our digital analytics, clicks, like I said, everything we've done has been, we don't even send them to our website. We send them, if you scan it, you go right to the digital editions.
So does that let you do stories that are not as long lead, a little quicker turnarounds?
Sometimes, so we have the opportunity to, certainly you can just take what you do in print and you can do the same thing in digital, but we also have the opportunity to bring people in or add things, because at that point, then it becomes kind of like the AJC does, AJC plus, like inside stuff with extra stuff that you don't have room for, right?
Gotcha.
So that's also a new thing, because I've got to tell a lot of our partners, hey, you want to say a 30-second blurb, we can now embed that inside your ad and people can click on it. So it's the technology is evolving. We're looking to be a 2023. When you say magazine, a lot of times it's looked at as old school, but we're saying, hey, you're getting all the new stuff, but you're getting the traditional. There's not a lot of it around anymore.
Are you finding the advertising support is still strong? You're not having issues with that?
We've been, Mitch, I'm going to be honest with you, we have a core group of people that have literally been in both magazines for 10 plus years. And I'm going to be honest with you, they don't like me that much. So, we just embody the community and giving back and, shedding the spotlight on positive, non-divisive things through all these meetings I'm talking about. And you know what? I think people just want to be a part of it. And I'm beyond blessed. Seriously. Because, at a certain point, this, you don't have to keep doing this. It's something you're doing to put your name out there. But I think they just want to stay involved. And, people really come to us and they're referred to us. And it's a blessing.
All right. So remind folks again the names of the magazines are.
So we've got Our Town Gwinnett, and people see them. They must say Our Town Gwinnett magazine. One of them's more, Tucker, Snellville, Lilburn, Stone Mountain, going up that direction. And of course, where Snellville and Lawrenceville split, you have the other one. It's more towards Grayson, Tequila, Loganville, another part of Snellville. But so kind of that part of Gwinnett, and one has green at the top, one has blue at the top, and so we distinguish them by the color just simply to make sense of which one we're talking about.
So, but they're both called Our Town Gwinnett, but they kind of have a different kind of story focused kind of as you just
and sometimes you have a story. I mean, seriously, you have a great story about Gwinnett in general. Could be the school system. We may choose to run that in September and then run it in the sister edition in October because it's a different market.
Sure.
But if it's a good story, it's a good story, and we're not trying to compete real time, X or Twitter. We're just trying to put out those stories that aren't covered.
Yeah. All right, and let's see. The website for the magazines is.
So website for the magazines. Disclaimer: I need to get it updated. They're on me. My team's on me about this. But anyway, it's got the main stuff. There's Our Town Gwinnett. So OurTownGwinnett.com. I'll just give you the other one. So for everything for the shows and stuff I was speaking of is under End Results. So EndResultz.com. And you'll see a lot of our offerings, but the bigger thing on there right now is the whole shows. And then I think under both of those, you can get to the TV thing. You can get to my personal consulting site, which is RyanSauers.com. But the site's interleague where you can do pull downs and go back and forth.
Okay. All right. So now we got to go to the lightning round. So these are the really hard questions. So What's the coolest thing about Ryan that people might not know?
Coolest thing about Ryan, is outgoing and whatever people see. I actually have gotten, as I've gotten older, I just kind of like chilling, reading, watching sports, and just very small groups or my family, friends, and just being low key. I think just because I'm always feeling like I'm on, that people would go, no, not him, man. He never shuts up. Yes, that's the surprise, but it's true. I like to be able to have that quiet time.
So the quiet guy is not the Ryan that is. There's the quiet Ryan, and then
he does exist. He does exist, and I know that's hard for you, but I do get tired, and I get tired of hearing myself. And in all seriousness, I do really enjoy being around some people where they can just share and I can listen, and like being around you, I always just enjoy our time together. But yeah, that wasn't always the case, but certainly as I've gotten older, I really do enjoy that time.
All right, last book that you've read.
I'm reading one of the best ones I read that was non-leadership related, but it's a great book. Is Atomic Habits. It's a great book, scholarly written. That I actually going to go back and reread because I was doing it during the dissertation. That's a good one.
The Atomic, like ATOMIC.
Yeah, it's on my bookshelf. It's Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits. Okay, I got it.
But it's a good one if you just really want to look at stuff. It's scientific based, not just Joe Blow writing it.
All right, favorite local restaurant where you eating lately?
I'll tell you, man. I'm a pizza guy, so I'm Mellow Mushroom is my go-to.
Oh, See, and disclaimer, I did not tell him to say that just because Mellow Mushroom is a client of ours. That was totally unprompted.
True. Affiliate marketing going on here. But yeah, that's true. I love my Mellow Mushroom, man. I could eat pizza every day.
So check out the Go Pink cocktail available in October. Proceeds go to the Komen breast cancer fund. All right.
Got it.
Okay. Favorite guilty pleasure.
Favorite guilty pleasure. I think it's trying to be the DJ and being the worst DJ when they put me in charge of the music, and I just play the entire crowd killing song. So I think I'm this cool music guy, and it's my pleasure to get up and try to go watch this, listen to this song, man. Let's throw it back. And it's like a buzzkill listening to me do this. I mean, because they're like, dude, you just took it so slow. We're like crying. I mean, it was an upbeat party, so I take pleasure in playing the music. But
this was a fun party till Ryan hit the DJ.
I just have a knack, Mitch, of literally playing the wrong song at the wrong time, and I'm like, but I want you to hear this new song, and everybody's like, yeah, that just didn't work.
Yeah,
that's okay. Keeps you nice and humble.
Misread the audience.
Misread the audience.
All right, favorite local getaway. Where do you like to go?
Beach. We one of the places I'm really enjoying is a little hub right in North Myrtle Beach, about 8 miles south of North Carolina. It's like you're going up the coast almost to Wilmington. We found a little hub over there. I absolutely love it. I'd never been there until 2 or 3 years ago, and just in love with it. And never thought I would. I didn't even know what it was, but that's been a jaunt we've taken a lot recently.
All right, favorite, if there is such a thing, your favorite non-work hobby.
Watching sports. I mean, I'm playing sports. I'm now want to get back to golf, and I went out and got myself a pickleball racket. And my old tennis skills, first time out, I didn't do terrible and didn't get injured. So, but definitely sports. I mean, watch my kids, my youngest anyway, or watching, college football, the Braves, or like I said, playing them, whatever I can still do. But sports definitely number one.
Very good. All right, we've been talking with Ryan Sauers, who is publisher of Our Town Gwinnett and owner of End Results Media. Is that the correct way to describe it? End Results
Media. That's
End
great.
Results Media. EndResults.com with the Z.
With the
Z. We'll put all those URLs in there so people can find you easily. Ryan, thank you for your time today. It's been great talking to you.
Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, and you've been listening to our 4 Questions Journalist Spotlight. As always, check out the archives. You can do the video version. You can do the audio version on Amazon or Spotify or Google Play or all of those different places. And if you want to subscribe to our Leff's Atlanta Media database, go to leffsatlantamedia.com and sign up today, and you'll get the best database of Atlanta media. Plus, you get our Mitch's Media Musings newsletter every month to find all the great news of what's happening in our media community. All right. And for today, we are out. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Mitch.